Hello everyone, welcome to the session. In this session, we will discuss about cross-docking, which is a important part of supply chain. So, the agenda of the discussion is how DC distribution center works without cross-docking, what is cross-docking and how it works, types of cross-docking, pros and cons of implementing cross-docking, hybrid distribution center, cross-docking warehouse, what is cross-docking distribution center or warehouse, when to use cross-docking. So let's move on to the first point, how DC works without crosstalk. I've drawn this image to explain how the distribution center works without cross-docking. So here you can see the inbound logistic, outbound logistic. Inbound logistic is being used to get the item from the supplier and production facility. Outbound is to distribute the basically items to the or inventory to the retail store, customer, DC, FC, or any other destination. So in without docking, the distribution center get the supply, they perform the receive and put up. So the storage is happening inside the distribution center once distribution center get the supply. But what it but it is not the case with the cross docking. So now we will see what cross docking is. Suppose you get the supply, means distribution center get the supply. So instead of storing those items, distribution center reroute those items the next destination. So next destination could be the retail store or customer or DC or FC. So this is the main difference without cross docking and with cross docking. In cross docking, the distribution center does not store the inventory. Instead, they distribution center reroute or send the inventory immediately to the next destination with the help of outbound logistic. So this is what I have mentioned here also. So truck loads arrive at the docker terminal of the cross docking DC or normal DC. So docker terminal is the place where actually this process happen, this rerouting of this unloading from the truck and load in the truck. So it happens at the docker terminal. There is a always you will find the docker terminal wherever wherever this cross talking is happening. So normally there you will see, there could be a dedicated cross talking warehouse or distribution center for this kind of activity if it is happening in at the large scale. So business can set up a separate cross docking distribution center or warehouse. So once the truck arrives with the inventory at the docker terminal, the goods are unloaded and sorted and loaded into outbound truck waiting on the site. So the sorting means, suppose we have got the 10 items. 2 items were for the retail store, 2 were for the customer, remaining was for the distribution center or fulfillment center. So this kind of sorting is happening at the distribution center inside the docker terminal. So the sorting is basically grouping the items of same destination, and those items of same destination will be put in the same truck, basically same logistics system. It is not necessary that every supply chain will be using the cross docking or will be using. So it is based on the requirement of the supply chain. If the business is like that, business demands or the kind of business we are doing, if that demands cross docking, if the cross docking can help that particular business to increase the efficiency, then obviously we can implement the cross docking. Otherwise it's not necessary or mandatory to implement the cross docking. We can go with the typical way of transferring the inventory from one place to another. Like first the inventory receives at the distribution center store it for the future or for the longer time whenever it is required by the retail store or other destination. Then distribution center can send that to those places. So what is the advantage of this? First of all, you don't have to store the inventory inside the distribution center or warehouse, right? So if we are saving the inventory, means it is taking our storage, it's taking our place. So you don't need that much of store, place to store the items if you have cross docking in place. Reduced labor cost. So for the packaging, for storing, you don't need to need those resources or labor, the receiving and put away. So those thing will definitely enhance the delivery process. Transportation has fuller loads for each trip and therefore saving in trans, so it will save the transportation cost, because not be case like only vehicle is going with only 2 3 parcels. So we can make such kind of a strategy where we can put more items in the same truck for the same destination. What is disadvantage of it? Was sufficient transport carriers, like it is a very dynamic process. The inventory is coming and moving out immediately with some checks. So you need to have transport system in place which will be available immediately. So it takes the so much of transport resource. Need for reliable supplier. Have a good trust with your supplier, like they should supply the inventory on time and whenever it is required. Supplier on daily basis, because they get the supply from supplier every day, and they you know reroute that to the send to the next destination. So it is not like they are storing anything like for the 6 month or for a year. So it is a daily basis of getting supply and moving to the customer and the next destination. So one thing also we need to keep in mind that small companies should carefully analyze this if they need to set up this type of distribution chain, because it takes so much of resource and planning. If the cross docking is implemented carefully with with some analysis, then it will for sure it will benefit the business. So next is what types of cross docking is. One is the load unit level, another case level. Suppose you've got the truck full of items. So you will normally in trucks there will be a huge container, and inside that you will see you will find the SKU, basically the items. In the load unit level, we do not break down that container. We do not open that container and find and check the each and every SKU and perform the quality. So instead, we just directly load that container to the another ticker for the outbound delivery. So it is basically save the time and also the efforts. And in case level we open the parcel, we check the parcel, and then we rearrange in the separate, then we put in the separate content mechanism of sorting like so we can use the different way of sorting, like one is the sorting the item for the same destination. So this is the case level. The need, like what kind of need we have, we can use either of the type of cross talking. Also we should keep in mind, like so although the cross docking is normally help business to make the shipping process more quicker, but we should not skip the quality check and the inventory tracking, like how much inventory has received, how much has been distributed to other location. So all these things should be tracked in the system, even if the distribution center is not storing the inventory. Already mentioned what is cross docking distribution. So these are the distribution center especially set up for the cross dock. So there are many supply chain which where we can find the such kind of example, especially in the kind of food industry, or with the especially with the food industry, because we cannot store those items from warehouse in a warehouse for a longer time. We need to you know transfer the move the item on daily basis from for the delivery. Those kind of industry requires a cross talking, and so those are in that particular field business, those who are in that particular field, then we can see the more cross talking kind of activities in those supply chains. The hybrid cross talking. So what is hybrid? Hybrid is the mix of the, so as I explained earlier, like in the without cross-docking, we store the quantity, and in the cross-docking, we do not store the quantity, right? So but in hybrid, so what we do is, some normally we store the quantity, and we also create a one Docker terminal where the this cross docking can activities can be carried out for with the some, for not at that large level, but with for with some limited products only. That type of hybrid cross docking, that type of distribution can perform both type of activities, like storing of the inventory, and then just rerouting the inventory to the next without storing it. So also this cross docking is not can it is something, it is not necessary it is suitable for all the type of product. That totally depends on the strategy of the business and what kind of network you have. Like you don't have that much of a space, and you are not you have not rented, or you have personal warehouse, big warehouse where you can store your inventory. Then you can go with that kind of cross talking if it helps you. So depends, totally depends on the, and so main purpose is to delivery should be quick, I mean to make the shipping process more quicker. So that's the only motto of it, and also save the cost. Don't need that much of so these things can help us to the business to save the money also. So when we need to use there could be confusion. So it is not something which should be used with each and every in each and every supply chain or with each and every product. There are few examples like fruits and vegetables, dairy, fish or meat products. Perishable goods, it is a good option to implement the cross docking. We cannot store those items for more than 2 to 3 days or 5 days. So it should be a good, it could be a good option. So inbound supply component and raw material. Depends on like what kind of agreement you have with your supplier. Like if they are, I mean, if they are doing the, so in many cases the supplier itself can do the cross docking. Like they no need to send the parcel to the distribution center, from where it is rerouted to the next location, could be retail store. The supplier directly can send the parcel to, or the items or inventory to the basically to the retail store. So if supplier agrees on, then you can go. If supplier is not able, is agreed that to do the cross docking for you, then you will have to implement, you can go and implement this kind of strategy. If at the distribution center you are getting the already packed item, so you don't have to do anything. Like you can just go and receive the inventory and reroute to the next destination. So these are the some examples where we can use the cross talking. Could be a scenario like customer has placed an order with the same day delivery. So in those cases, we can skip the storage basically activities, and we can directly send the parcel once it is received at the distribution center. This is opportunistic cross talking for this session. Thanks for watching. If you have any doubt, please let me know in the comment section. See you in the next video.